Ecocide from space. Number of active satellites are more than 7,000 right now. This is authored by Arthur Fristenberg, Cellular Phone Task Force. Number of operating satellite passes 7,000. On the evening of Thursday, December 8, 2022, OneWeb launched 40 satellites from Cape Canaveral, Florida, bringing the total number of active satellites in orbit around our Earth to more than 7,000. These cell towers in space are altering the electromagnetic environment of the entire planet and are debilitating and exterminating life, according to some engineers and scientists. Could this also be the reason why some animals, lambs, ants, worms, are going around in a clockwise circle for hours and days on end? So these cell towers in space are altering the electromagnetic environment of our planet. Even the first fleet of 28 military satellites launched by the United States caused a worldwide pandemic of influenza when they became operational June 13, 1968. The Hong Kong flu began in June 1968, lasted through April 1970, with up to 4 million victims worldwide. To understand why requires a proper understanding of our connection to the universe and what it's already what it is that really gives us life and health and makes our bodies move. In a sense, we're all puppets of invisible strings that connect us to heaven and earth, strings that resonate at the age-old frequencies of the biosphere in which we live, the space between earth and sky, whose dimensions never change. And when we modulate and pulsate those strings at random from thousands of locations in space, we change the beautiful music of the earthly orchestra into a discordant chaos that scatters bodies all over the world, helpless before it. On March 24 to 25, 2021, the chaos was brought to a new level that the world now accepts as normal. In a 24-hour period, a record 96 satellites were launched into space, once on a single day, 60 by SpaceX and 36 by OneWeb. And on the same day, SpaceX dramatically increased the speed of its satellite internet connections. On that day, people all over the world suddenly could not sleep, were weak and exhausted, had muscle spasms and hurt and itched all over, especially in their feet and legs. They had skin rashes, were dizzy and nauseous, and had stomach aches and diarrhea. Ringing in their ears was suddenly amplified, their eyes were inflamed, and their vision suddenly worsened. They had heart arrhythmias, blood pressure went out of control. Some had nosebleeds or coughed up blood. They were anxious, depressed, or very depressed and irritable. Their cats, dogs, chickens, goats, and cows were sick at the same time. My newsletter of April 15, 2021 survey results quoted from some of the 1,000 letters I received from people, young and old, from people who call themselves electrosensitive, and from people who did not, from people who had no wireless technology, and from people who had smart meters and 5G antennas outside their homes, and who emailed me from their cell phones, all reported the same experiences, commonly reporting the same experiences, reporting that not only they, but their spouse, children, parents, neighbors, friends, were co-workers, clients, and everyone else they knew were sick, exhausted, irritable on March 24th or 25th, and had trouble sleeping. The reports came from 42 states and 50 countries. Deaths of blue tick mice spiked in Germany beginning March 25th, and March 25th registered the second highest number of COVID deaths in 2021, the fifth highest since the pandemic. And the number of crimes in the U.S. rose suddenly. March 25th remained high for 3 weeks. An average of 6 involving 4 victims occurring between March 25th, April 13. Photographs of hundreds of worms, hundreds of sheep, moving silently in perfect spirals were taken on March 25th and March 26th. Long-term pain, sickness, and debility has become so common that it's now accepted as a normal part of life that the world thinks it can address with endless vaccinations, mask wearing, wiping of hands, all surfaces with toxic disinfectants. Last week, December 8, 2022, on the day OneWeb launched satellites that will expand its coverage across US, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, I experienced within my body and heard from some other people, both locally and far away, that the pains and debilities from which we have been suffering at some level for the past 20 months suddenly intensified. I was always crippled for 3 days. As on March 24, 25th, 2021, I would like to find out how widespread this is. So please reply to the email if you have experienced something similar. Although SpaceX and OneWeb are so far building the largest fleets of Earth satellites, they are far from the only satellites launching them. The 7,000 satellites presently operated were launched by governments or private companies are of the following countries. Algeria, in alphabetical order. Algeria, Argentina, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, Belarus, Belgium, Bolivia, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Ecuador, Egypt, European Space Agency, Estonia, Ethiopia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Laos, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Mexico, Monaco, Morocco, multinational, Nepal, Neanderthals, New Zealand, Norway, Pakistan, Paraguay, Peru, Poland, Qatar, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Slovenia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sri Lanka, Sudan, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States, Uruguay, Venezuela, and Vietnam. And they were launched from the following spaceports: Baikonur, Cape Canaveral, Dombarovsky in Russia, Guiana Space Center, French Guiana, and various other places from all over the world. Other satellite news: European Iris satellites. The European Union just got into the act that with its own program to provide high-speed broadband from space to all of Europe and Africa. On December 5th, 2022, the Council of the EU and the European Parliament reached a provisional agreement to launch 170 new satellites called Infrastructure for Resilience, Interconnection and Security IRIS. This new component of the EU space program will put an end to dead zones in Europe as well as the whole of Africa, using the constellation's north-south orbits through a resilient and ultra-secure space and ground-based system, says EU Space Program EUSPA website. September 10, 2022, AST Space Mobile launched the largest, most probably the most powerful commercial communications array ever put in space. It's the first of a planned fleet of 243 Bluebird satellites designed to connect directly with people's existing mobile phones, no matter where on Earth they may be located. The size of its solar array, 64 square meters, is causing alarm among the astronomers because it's as bright as the brightest stars during the hours after sunset and before sunrise. So far, AST Space Mobile is working with Rakuten Mobile, AT&T, Bell Canada, Telecom Argentina, various other places. The immensely powerful signals from the Bluebird satellites are also worrying radio astronomers as well as human beings who are concerned for their well-being. The effective radiation power of each satellite, according to AST's filing with the FCC, will be up to 83 million watts, and the exposure level at the surface of the Earth from such beams, according to my calculations, will be up to 3 nanowatts per square centimeter, which is 100 times more radiation than what I'm exposed to in my house in Santa Fe from the nearest cell towers. 100 times more. Every person should have the right to access cellular broadband, regardless of where they live or work. Our goal is to close the connectivity gaps that negatively impact billions of lives around the world, said Abel Avelin, CEO of AST Space Mobile. We beg to differ, Mr. Avelin. Every person, every animal, and every plant should have the right to drink from the Earth's natural frequencies and not be bombarded with artificial radiation from space. So this is from Arthur Furstenberg, President Cellular Phone Task Force, and it's on Out of Minds too. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.